Thank you so much for inviting me here and all respected speakers at the dais. I've known most of them for years and I've been coming to Tamil Nadu for over 30 years. So in the 30 years, I try to trace a lot of things. One of the things that I started actually in the 90s, late 90s, was conversing with people who were close to Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. And somehow, those who have seen him, those who worked with him, it impacted us. And every one of them had their own stories. Those were the time when there were not many Ambedkarites in the academia. Today, I'm very happy to say that, there are a large number of youngsters who are in the academics, who are in the media, who have blogs, who are social media. So this is now a global thing. But Ambedkarism survived in the initial years, actually, if you say 40, 50 years, in spite of and despite all states' reservation against him, by the dedicated Ambedkarites. It is they who kept the legacy of Dr. Ambedkar high. They kept his literature. Dr. Bhagwan Das, L.R. Bali, these were the people who kept, the literature. Otherwise, even the literature would have disappeared. That was the period when people like us also decided that we won't be part of any Brahminical elite media or any circle. Because that was, we thought that, our duty is towards the people and not to, get a certificate of how we write and how we are. That these days what is happening. So this conversation gave me a lot of ideas. And that started with Mr. Bhagwan Das, who worked with Dr. Ambedkar. And they were the people who wrote least about themselves. These days, a new trend has appeared in the Marathi and Hindi heartland. That is the trend of autobiographies. A lot and lot of emerging. That's a great thing. But also we have to understand that because of the growth of autobiographies, in the mainstream thing, a clever way to sidetrack the original writing of Dr. Ambedkar. You don't want, if you ask who is Ambedkarite, people will tell you about, that this is man, this novelist, this fiction writer. But if you ask them really that, do you know about Mr. Bhagwan Das? Do you know about Mr. L.R. Bali? Or Mr. Fuljale or so many of them who have been doing in the villages, in the small towns, their work very, those were the period when people used to bring out different newsletters, magazines. Today's youngster won't be able to name 20 of those who kept the flag high. So, but that was the thing that I started in conversing, and it went up and up and up, and then because of my interest in caste and ecology and anti-colonialism, I started speaking to many more. So this series started first with Ambedkarites, then we started with the issue of land, issue of race, issue of caste. So I spoke to many African friends, many American Africans, and then try to look at the caste and race issues. What do they think? Why is that Dr. Ambedkar is not much known among the blacks? African Gandhi is more known among them. Or even why Periyar is not much known. This question I posed to actually Mr. Veeramani also. I interviewed Mr. Veeramani thrice. But then what happens is the political nature of people. Many times they feel uncomfortable with the question that confront. And here is this book actually, which I'm very happy and very, I would say, about the dedication of Mr. Rajadurai. Because at this age, he worked very, very hard on this. I know it took nearly 2 years for us, answering and questioning. It's not that I sent question and he responded and then it is a book. It is a lot of, inter-questioning things and, many times when one thing responded, then other question comes up. And prior to this book, actually, I had one interview with Mr. Rajadurai and Geeta, long back. And it was very much liked in North India. Many people actually, based on that interview, wrote books in Hindi. I can tell you the problem in North India about Periyar is the crap material about Periyar. The only thing, they like in a very, speak mostly about Periyar's, treatment to gods. I say this is not Periyar. Don't confine Periyar to just because he might have said something or, because this romanticification of, all anti-God things. I say Periyar is not merely anti-God, or don't, make him like, he's shooing away these statues and idols and all those kind of things. But this is a problem with many in the Dalit Bahujan movement in North India. They know only about this. And perhaps this comes from the propaganda literature. They don't know about Periyar's massive work actually, even about women's. Very few. So, I think here these books bring out a lot of these issues. And particularly in the late 90s, when many from Tamil Nadu started, writing about Periyar, many had their Delhi connections. And in Delhi, the Baniya editors and the Brahmin editors were very happy to allow writing from Dalits to write about Periyar, to say things, oh, he was anti-Dalit, he never spoke about untouchability, he only talked about this, So this is how the media works. In the post-Mandal scenario, the media started in a very clever way. It started working on social justice. So how does social justice start? So you start abusing the Dalits, start abusing the backward communities and blame them for every evil. Obviously there are questions. I'm not saying there are not questions. There are questions, serious questions that need to be answered. But the system is not made by the backward communities. The structure is not created by them. So when we ask the question, we have to question that. And that is why this book became very, very important. Because here, Mr. Rajadurai did not evade the answer or the question. Because many times, many people say, oh, this is not, like they switch to other questions or, deliberately ignore the things. I think these are very important part, Periyar's relationship with Dr. Ambedkar. Now everybody says like these days because it is also politically correct. So everybody say, oh, Periyar and Ambedkar were very close. So what were they close about? What are the issues? Where did they meet? And I knew about Periyar's North India connections. So I had at least 2-3 people where, who told me about when he came. And a small magazine of a Muslim Majlis actually. A very old man I met, and because I've been doing these conversations, meeting any old person, talking to him. And then he gave me a souvenir of 1960s. And I saw the photograph of Periyar in the magazine. And I said, Arey, it is your convention. The convention was called by us, All India Backward Classes Convention, and Periyar was in Lucknow. Then a friend of mine who is in Bangalore, and he had done a lot of work on Shyam, what is the name of that? He started Bhim Sena, Shyam Sundar. He done a lot of work on that. In fact, he was a follower of Shyam Sundar. And then he said that, look, Shyam Sundar was actually present in Lucknow in that meeting of All India Backward Classes thing. So he had written a book, and in that book there was a photograph of Periyar sitting on the. So I said that 2 people from like OBC or outside North India gave me that thing, but you don't have any documentation about these people. And that is how we kill our own legacy, because there is no documentation available. I am telling you the fact that if Periyar has not written that much, if Ambedkar has not written that much and published themselves, the Brahminical elite in India would have just made them washed away. They would not have been available anywhere to anyone. So this we have to understand, and that is why whether somebody publish or not publish, let's publish ourselves. So that's what the legacy of Periyar and legacy of Dr. Ambedkar is. So for me, it is a thing, it is like a great satisfaction that this book is out. And Mr. Rajadurai worked very hard on it. I know he was not well. He used to be very frustrated with me also many times, because of the book got delayed on occasions. But we were I was very committed that this work must come out. That was my commitment to him, that I will ensure that this work should come out. And it should come out in a well way, should not be just like casual way which people bring out. As our friend said, most of the time, Periyar's writing have been converted into a propaganda material. It looks like that's not serious thing. We have to bring seriousness to it. And most of these, there are many questions because I sent in late stage when I was reading about many critique. Oh, DMK did this, they were like this massacre where they did not go. So all question I tried and he answered very honestly. So I'm very happy and I hope that, this I can say that power of conversation. So I say people's history through conversation. Because Mr. Rajadurai would not have written about himself if he has to write a book about it. And through this conversation, at least, we are able to know a little bit about him. That his own struggles, his own work. And that is where I say, please speak to anyone who has seen. I have a lot of respect for people, at least those who are part of history, who had seen Ambedkar, who has seen Periyar. So at least, if anyone around you, please converse, please try to trace. They may not write, they may not be great writers, but at least you can be able to write about their work and their history, and that's what we call people's history. I would continue to do that, and I hope many friends would do that. And I thank you again for this, giving me this opportunity, and that this book is out and it is well received. It is another satisfaction for me. So thank you so much for organizing this event.
உன் கடவுளை விட உன் சாஸ்திரத்தை விட உன் முன்னோரை விட உன் வெங்காயம் விளக்கமாத்தை விட உன் அறிவு பெருசு அதை சிந்தி